AV SuperFriends On Topic is an independent production wholly owned and operated by AV SuperFriends, LLC. For the highest quality recording of all of our shows, visit avsuperfriends.com. This is AV SuperFriends On Topic, a 30-minute monthly roundtable focused on a single topic. This discussion will be opinionated, to the point, and saturated with our well-known blend of painfully won expertise and deeply ingrained immaturity. For December 2024, it's the best-sounding podcast in higher ed. This is the AV SuperFriends On Topic, episode number, whatever we're up to, 53. That's too many.
Whatever this one is.
Take two back. Well, it's on a different screen.
We're out of contract right now.
That's a different show.
Outside of our
Oh, that's the different.
Too many shows. Broadcasting live across 4 time zones from coast to coast, easternmost to westernmost, northernmost to southernmost, gate post to hitching post. I'm your local host who can boast the most milk toast and utmost humility. I'm Chris Decker. Time for another Friday afternoon podcast adventure. And let's say hello to today's august panel, our special panel of AV SuperFriends.
Specialist.
Where is it? This one.
Get it going.
Today I'm joined. Whoops. Nope.
What? No.
There it is. Today I'm joined by a dynamic communications administrator from Kansas City, Jamie Reinhardt.
Just because we're playing around. I'm communicating. Is that good?
That is very dynamic.
That is very dynamic.
I don't know that.
Yeah,
Not dynamic enough. Also joined by a direct markets engineer from Corvallis, Oregon, Mark Kolowazinski.
We're going to ship it directly to your market, door to door. Don't know where it goes from there, too. But once it gets there, you figure it out. We'll get it to you. You figure it out. Don't really care.
Also joined by a lead quality manager from Greensboro, North Carolina. Say hello to Larry Darling.
This sounds like a job I can delegate, so I'm good with it.
It sounds like a good work from home job.
Yep.
Oh, I want that one.
Everyone loves the work from home jobs. And finally joined by our senior vice president for customer infrastructure from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Say hello to Justin Rexing.
I like it. It's appropriate. Infrastructure is important.
Home.
Let's go.
And customers too.
And I'm a VP again. So
Senior VP.
and that's
Means you're closer
all
to the
that
door.
matters.
You're almost out.
So, as you can tell, today is our on topic for Christmas show, our Christmas special, our holiday special.
Holidays.
So
yes,
holiday.
the kids are
So
saying.
we celebrate only Christmas in this podcast. So, so we're going to talk about some Christmas themed things. So we're going to discuss, most importantly, why we're all on AV Santa's naughty list this year. Because we figured that was more fun than calling out products we like or stuff that's working well or whatever. But first, let's talk about some housekeeping.
Let's talk about it.
So if you're listening to this as a recorded MP3 down the road as you're driving, to work on Thursday, December 11th, is that a third? I don't know. Whatever that day is.
I'm checking.
We stream live on Friday afternoons at about 3:30 Eastern or 12:30 Pacific, or more accurately when Mark shows up, though this time it was Justin's fault.
It was Jamie's fault.
I was a little tardy.
I'll always take the blame. That's fine.
It's usually Mark. You can join us live on YouTube. So we're focusing on YouTube for streaming. So you can still find our links out there on Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and all that fun stuff. Not on Facebook. Are we on Facebook? I don't care. I'm not.
Is that even a thing?
We don't care about Facebook.
No. And when I can remember, we'll take your calls live, which I forgot again today. So
one day we'll have
we
that.
still
Are
a few
we
times.
paying for the phone line? Are we paying for that?
You are. We're not.
You're not, so don't worry about it. If you can't join us live, we still want to connect with you on the socials, so you can follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and now on Blue Sky for those of you who are Twitter refugees.
We're up there.
You can go there on Blue Sky. You just go to bluesky.com and realize that bluesky.com is not the right place. And then you go to Google and just search for Blue Sky, and it tells you where it is because they have an inscrutable domain name. So good luck with that. So search for Blue Sky.
Like Whitehouse.com versus whitehouse.gov?
Just don't go to those.
Don't do
It's
that.
different? Okay.
I don't understand how they didn't get the domain name, but whatever. So while you're on Blue Sky, LinkedIn, Twitter, all this fun stuff, don't forget to spread the word. Please share this podcast with your friends, colleagues, enemies, perfect strangers, anyone else you might be standing behind at the grocery store. If you could take someone's phone from them when they're not looking and subscribe them and then quickly put it back, that would be great.
The person at the ticket counter whose flight has been canceled. Make it a point to tell one of those people to calm them down. When they're freaking out, just say, you know what?
While they're upset. So you know what'll calm you down? This podcast.
That always works. I'm a podcast host.
If you want to support the show, please consider donating. Your contributions keep us bringing you the honest content that you love or love to hate, depending on which way you look at it. You can find the donation link in the show description of this very episode on our website, or you can go to avsuperfriends.com/support, I believe. And we do want to hear from you. So please, if there's a topic if you want us to cover, if you want to send us an email or reach out on social media, if you want to yell at us, tell us how wrong we were or how right we were, because we'll read it either way. Send us a note, or mailbag at avsuperfriends.com, or hit us up on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Blue Sky, etc. At least Larry and I will eventually see that stuff. No one else will.
Eventually we'll see it.
We do.
It gets
pass it on.
It's pretty quick.
Get escalated through all of our, our first
unless
lines.
You're one of those people who keep sending me
escalated up.
Yeah, if you're one of the groups who just keep sending me spam about this person would be perfect for your show,
they're not responding. No, we're not doing that.
And finally, while you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., any other platform, please rate and review us, because the rating bumps us up in the algo, and more people will see us, and then more people will listen, and then all that stuff. So there you go.
You did it.
Done.
And that's the
show.
Now, thank you.
Back to the show. All right, so today's show, and I forgot to start this already.
Music. Let's get some music in here.
I was supposed to be playing at the beginning.
Get the mood going here.
Okay.
Want to go back and start
I did my part. I've already holidayed.
Let's just restart. Get the phone line going.
All right, start over.
Get the music going.
So, as I mentioned, our discussion here is going to be about why we're on Santa's, why we're on AV Santa's, or Santa's AV Santa's naughty list.
Why you are on the naughty list.
So, what we did that giving us a lump of coal in our Christmas stocking this year, specifically related to some choices we made about projects or products or services or things like that, and I think we've all got some good ones. So.
Well, you
let's
call
see.
It out. Who's going?
As the person who traveled the farthest to be here today, Mark, let's start with you. No, Jamie, let's start with you.
Oh, he's in the middle of the country.
I'm just throwing this.
Hey, it's equal.
It's about
everywhere's
time.
Equal. All right, so as we've established through all of these shows, is that I'm a little bit of a cowboy and just throw everything on the network.
Just throw it on there, man.
AV over IP belongs on the enterprise. Just do it. And I landed myself in a little bit of a naughty spot, because what I didn't realize was the PTP clocks.
Oh, PTP.
Yeah, PTP clocks don't necessarily, they're sneaky little bastards. And even though I thought they were confined.
Do you have your own? Let's start there.
I do not.
Okay.
Yet.
It's the right answer.
Are you using somebody else's?
It is on my short list of things to try to locate, but I found that the sneaky little bastard would get out of what I thought was a protected building-only system, and I was having devices in other buildings trying to clock to the clock of a device in another building, and then every now and then it would jitter and freak out and go crazy, and I couldn't figure it out. The networking people, that was the first time this year, that was the first time that they've really looked at me and said, dude, figure it out or no more. So, naughty list, here I came, and you know what? We did get it figured out, actually. They dug into it and said, okay, we can do one more thing, and now it's fixed and everything's happening.
Do you have Enterprise PTP?
I do not.
You don't. Okay.
They figured out how to keep it from sneaking around to the different sections of the network and keeping it. So now it's a building only. So each building has its own generated clock, but it's not. I'm not able. So the library is not able to try to sync to classroom building 17, and vice versa.
Luxurious, to be honest.
Yeah, boy. There's nothing. It's like sound keeps cutting out. You're like, why? And you get on there, and they're like, master clock is in the union.
Why?
Why is it clocking to the union? This is supposed to be blocked. So even though you have multicast blocked, even though you have some of these other things blocked,
it gets around that.
It gets through.
PTP
it's like water.
It's like teenagers in the 80s. Teenagers in the 80s, right? No fence was good enough to keep them out. They were bored, and if it was available, they were getting in.
Coming in. Yeah, it's purposely outside of that.
Not sure where you're going with that little metaphor there. So.
There's all kinds of condemned spaces.
Yeah.
Places you weren't supposed to be
partying in there.
Of all
PTs
people that doubt
going.
me,
yeah,
it's not Justin.
No, I'm with you. I got you.
We just drove through fences. So.
See?
We didn't have to
You didn't
jump over him.
sneak
We
through?
just
You
It's a
didn't
very
sneak through?
diplomatic approach to that.
we
Justin.
moved him out of the way.
We snuck around them. And that's what PTP does if you're not careful. So
It will
I
be.
do now know how to isolate that off of a Cisco network, so we're good to go.
You uncheck the box.
PTP problems are, you're in it. When you have PTP problems, you are
Just-
in it. Like, and if you're not there, get ready. Because one day when you aspire to be AV over IP everywhere and get into these boutique, unique protocols, you'll know.
Yeah.
When you wake up and
I
you're
mean-
like, shit, I need a PTP master clock somewhere in my network.
trying to put it all onto the enterprise is a wonderful endeavor until it's not. And that's one of the it's not. So now all you companies out there listening who dabble in this, somebody come out with an enterprise level PTP.
Oh, there's a lot
Central
of
There's this
Out
little
there.
standalone box. You can get it for like $400.
I mean, you're the group
I-
that's
I
responsible
want
for
one
your
that's legit,
your
Chris.
NTP should
You
be
use
responsible for
Monoprice.
that.
Like,
Not for my clocking.
just saying,
There is a
though.
limit. All right, anyway.
I'm just thinking if this is a gift item, a gift idea for people who might want it. The little standalone PTP clock. Who was it? Control Technology. Who makes those? Someone do your Google searches while I'm talking here.
Oh, yeah, I know
it's like
what you're talking about.
$450
Yeah,
bucks.
Those little guys. Yeah, they're like little.
You can set
tiny
that up.
boxes.
You can next time you're visiting a friend at their institution
Yeah,
or
just
their
drop it on the
business,
network.
just
Plug
take
one
that
in.
over and plug it in.
Yeah.
It's
just
fine.
put it on the core. It won't matter. It's good.
Just
We're good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a typical VLAN. Opens everything.
Just good. But that's what
Drop it
got
in
me
there.
switched. That's what got me switches this year and a little bit of cold in my stocking.
Oh, all right.
In fact, actually,
Messing up everybody's clock.
this is particularly a good gift idea for those people who still provide like that courtesy LAN port at the lecterns for people because they don't trust Wi-Fi.
Yes.
And by very definition, those are pretty well wide open. So plug it in there and see how many other conferencing spaces and classrooms go down, and then you
You'll
know what's
find
going
out.
on.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of which, like, you don't need all those wired network jacks. When you're in those meetings for the buildings,
Larry needs every one.
You don't need those. You need them in your one spot. Your students are not using them around the room. Stop putting those on walls and in floor boxes.
We got to talk to a lot of different universities this week at a conference,
don't need
and
them
you'd
either.
be surprised how many schools are still doing that.
Oh, they're doing it, but they're doing it wrong.
You just never know when to change a room into a computer lab, Mark. I mean,
Sure.
you're just planning for the future. Infrastructure.
show
You're still
up
going to need
tomorrow.
27 more. After
Mark, you're
just
not
never know.
wrong because architects love to over-specify because it's free when you're drawing lines on a
makes more
document.
money.
Exactly.
Contract prices go up.
You've all had how many network ports do you guys need in these floor boxes for your students?
75.
17.
None. How about that?
But at the same time, you're like, well, you better put 2 in there at least because if we need them.
Have you all
Every
ever
time.
asked the question, and I did this once, and it was probably
Oh, no.
a mistake.
Here we go.
How many students carry around patch cables, Mr. Architect? And they're like,
Wait, you don't have-
okay, asshole.
How many
You know,
laptops
and
actually
it's-
have LAN connectors on them
It's
anymore?
the connectors on the laptop. So.
Right, yeah. I mean, that, but it's just
You can get a
thinking
USB
about
dongle. Of course you can.
the
So
reality of what the students carry.
We just had a new space open here, and the floor. There's 3 floor boxes in this room. Only 1 has anything populated in it, so thanks. There's 6 cables pulled to it, and there's 4 LAN connections in all of them. Like, what is happening here? What is the plan for this? And are you thinking that someone might need to emergency make this into an office?
Active learning. It's,
Ironically, it is coincidentally is an active learning room, but that's not how you do active learning.
well, that's what architects think.
This is what architects think. That is the correct answer. So.
All right.
I knew that was an active learning room once you described it.
No, it's-
Okay, so Jamie, you're going to get some coal in your stocking, and let me give you an official. Where is it here? This one.
Bah humbug.
Give you a bah humbug there.
That's it.
All you get. You're on the naughty list, sir. Let's see, Mark. Why are you on AV Santa's naughty list this
You
year?
all know why I'm on the naughty list. But maybe
Yeah.
not
is
everybody listening.
it Teams rooms?
Teams rooms.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
You've all tested or seen the version of Teams Room. You've all kicked it around, played with it, and yada 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 yada. And you've had folks probably contact you and say, "Oh, you're going to put this in, and it's going to be the greatest thing in the world." Well, I said, "Okay,
Was it?
okay. Let's see how great it is. Let's not have just 1 or 2. Let's do 12 of them in a building with the highest
In one
level
room.
in the highest part of our organization with LED walls and all the things. If that wasn't bad enough on its own, just being crazy enough to do 12 Teams room rollouts in AV spaces as the only thing in those spaces, which when you do them is a bit of a cluster. it's like a PC and every widget converter known to man
A what?
in there. Widgets.
A compute?
No. Yes, you will have a computer.
Larry, what did somebody say this week? They said they called it a compute device.
Yeah.
So
which
now
is
it's
just-
even more syllables.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, we'll adopt that. The
So a
compute
CD,
device.
the CD. We're back to CDs now. Is that the
compact
acronym?
disc. So you have that. You have your compute device, and then when you look at the build out, it's every adapter under the sun is in this room. But
VGA
you get
to display port.
No, that's going to display. But I took it one
VGA
step
to
further.
component.
I took it one step further, and I was like, well, since we have all this stuff, the thing you're not getting anymore is I got rid of all the wired connections. You've heard me talk about it on the show in the past. No more wired inputs. It's put me on probably the bigger part of the AV naughty list, on top of proliferating Teams rooms across campus and doing that whole thing.
You're quickly getting the point of being on the no friend list. That's where you're going.
Maybe because everything about it is like feels like anti-AV. It is like the weirdest configurations. Yeah, it is, right? And so they work. They're doing what they need to do, but they're really difficult to manage. And everything your AV staff have done in the past goes out the window. So I think it is the quintessential version of why AV can end up on the AV naughty list when you do these types of things. But I think more importantly, the wire connection and not giving that to people is probably the larger issue, because it forces them to play by the Teams rules only.
And so they have to join the same session and all that fun stuff if they want content in there.
It's the whole aspect of AV is gone at that point. It's all just software, everything, everywhere. And so
it's all just on Jamie's network with the 17 different clocks, just
exactly
doing their thing.
Four different clocks on there, but try it. If you want to know how it goes, hit me up. I'll let you know. If you have questions about how we're doing it and if it can work for you or what you should and shouldn't do. I mean, spoiler.
And if you think
Probably
we need
no
to throw
option.
Mark off the show, go ahead and send that to us too.
We all poo-poo it and we don't want to do it, but I'll give you the firsthand, info on what's coming your way should you want to dive into that hole, or if it be forced on you by some outside entity or administrator de jour in your organization. Let me know. I'll give you some inside tips and tricks.
Well, you got a box full of reindeer crap for Christmas.
Yeah, I'm living it. I was just down there today. And as I end up my little chunk here, yes, go ahead and make sure you have some way to remotely turn them all off and turn them back on again, because that is Microsoft's first level of support. Have you restarted the machine?
So, you mean the machine? You mean the compute device?
The computing device.
Yes.
And
all
all
the computing, even more.
Yeah, but let's just go. We should stop trying to shorten this. Let's buck that trend. We're going to try to lengthen this at this point.
Yes.
The high performance
enterprise
computing
managed
capacity machine that I have put down there, doing that needs to be sequenced almost every 24 hours so they can maintain operability. So
it's a multi-transistor system.
Yes.
So when you have that many transistors, sometimes
Jamie, it's Microsoft Teams room, not multi-transistor. MTR means something else.
Yeah. So I proliferated more of those than I probably should, being involved with AV.
Is it more than one?
It's 12.
Yeah. All
I did one
right.
for every month of the year.
So, Mark, let me give you an official bah humbug here.
Bah humbug.
And you're on Santa's naughty list. So, let's see. Speaking of Teams rooms, I think, Larry, why the hell are you on the naughty list?
Well, up until this morning, my answer was going to be because I appear to be dragging my feet on every AV trend out there. Like, I want button panels instead of touch panels.
Correct.
I don't have any direct view LED walls. I want to simplify systems.
Correct.
My active learning spaces, I want more whiteboards than I want monitors.
Correct.
Like, across the board, Larry just
wants a person speaking in a room. None of the other stuff.
It sounds like you want less work.
Reliability, scalability, I want that. And then this morning happened. In two needs assessments, I found myself proposing a 21 by 9
Stop it.
MTR
Nope.
front room
No.
solution to the
No.
client.
Whoa.
And I walked
I'm not
out of
crazy enough
there
to do that.
feeling like, what the crap just happened?
See, you don't. It sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
Somewhere in LA, some person is typing a comment right this very moment to say, "Ha, I told you so."
And
No.
Is it Randy
Yeah.
Newman?
That guy, yeah.
yeah. So I'm still
Well, I want to tease that out. What
life.
brings you to 21 by 9? Because I'm just morbidly
Like,
curious.
what
How does one get
triggered
to
you
that?
to do
Yeah.
this?
sea level suites where the room does
At sea
not
level? Down very
I
low?
am back in North Carolina, so yeah.
That was a problem in North Carolina just a couple of months
Oh,
ago.
that's right. They moved sea level up. Here you go.
But they were complaining about the experience because it's the long, narrow room where they have the projector on the short wall at the end of the room, and they're trying to do
Bowling
a good
alley.
conference.
Did you advise cutting the table in half and pushing it against one wall? Because you might work for Cisco.
No, but I did say
Wait,
if you want this room to be good for conferencing, and that's the primary purpose, it might be better if you eliminate half the seats and face that wall and put a 21 by 9.
But
You
you're
actually
negotiating the room?
recommended it in
Dude.
the one space that it
Dude.
should be
No,
recommended
I
in.
oddly enough had 2 of those spaces in the same day.
That's how
Dude.
it happens, man. They don't.
But I've been
they're
fighting this whole
waves.
thing.
Why not just do two 16 by 9 or 32 by 9?
Because if you're going to go
Teach Apple
that
TV.
far, you're just fighting to fight at that point.
So you're saying if
oh
you're going to
my
make a
God.
mistake, you want to make a big mistake.
Whole lesson.
you are at the
you're
point
gonna
where it just makes
jump
sense
in.
to use the solution.
I would have rather built the wall, split the room in half, said, boom, you got 2 conference rooms, 16 by 9.
Bam! Solving problems.
This conference room can talk to that conference room.
Done.
And you can fit
But how did you
everybody in.
get? So,
one.
but
We put a
21 by
window
9.
in.
21 by 9 became like you need to have 21 by 9. Like there was a specific use case that landed here.
No.
They were in the front row solution.
Oh, they
that's-
wanted the front row solution. Okay.
That is what the
Look,
room was calling
It
for at
sounds
that
to
point.
me like this is the one place
Nope.
where these things belong.
Nope. Because here's the
He
problem with
found
it.
it. He found the only place.
Even in the front row experience, whatever they call that, the content is still a 16 by 9 content
Yes.
field. So
Yes, as it
but
should.
But
Why
you
not
get
just put in-
things?
yeah, I see little pictures of people around.
You get things, Chris. You get things.
Yeah.
Well, Larry now has to deal with those things.
Welcome
Oh, I
to the-
don't, because I
welcome to the
proposed
party.
them, and then I told him how much it would cost, and I don't think
Then he
that-
pieced out.
It'll come back.
Lose
That's
half
how
the
it. That's how it.
He's already
starts.
been fired.
That's how it starts.
Yeah, so if anyone needs
Well, you're going to get a
customer
double
tech
bah
manager-
humbug for that.
Bah humbug.
For recommending it
Bah
twice.
humbug.
Terrible.
It's making
That's
its way.
terrible.
out. It's coming.
It's terrible.
I got a whole pile in a
Terrible.
classroom with teams rooms. Get ready.
Justin, why are you on the naughty list this year? And if you say it's because you're now doing portrait displays in 9 by 21 in every conference
Teams
room,
rooms.
nothing
Oh,
but
I haven't gone wackadoo yet, but I've done a few
21.
things. I've been typing and I keep adding to the list, so it's a lot of little things that adding up to a lot of big stuff. So
Yeah, it's up.
So you're saying it's a lot of misdemeanors that eventually become a felony.
you've all heard me say a lot of these before. Like we're leaving NPS 100s in play while replacing projectors and saying good luck. Like go
Those
for
are
it.
still working.
Yeah.
Do you really have those operable at this point?
That's
Deployed?
shit. Yeah.
I don't believe you. I want
I
to picture
can't.
that.
I can't.
Call our
I don't
support
buy
team.
it, man.
Okay.
When did they go
They
in? Just give me a
love
rough estimate of the year when they went in.
Our poor support team is just getting ran. Like we were having a conversation today because our auditorium on campus has 13-year-old self-powered speakers from Rinkus Hines that they're having to take down off the wall, send off to repair because we can't afford new ones.
Wait, if you're
What are we
shipping
doing?
speakers anywhere, it's not
What are
cheap.
we doing?
You have enough money to put a replacement
No,
in there.
and yeah, we did that,
Yeah,
and
so
then we let
it's-
them down.
It's,
Those are coming down for
Different
repair.
show.
When are they coming
Different
back?
show.
For repair.
We repaired them once. The second time,
Hey, this quote
They got
only says
lost.
remove.
So
Yes.
we try to abide by ADA, but it's really hard when you don't have any money. So, hearing assistance and things like that.
So, like, no ramps in
best
your
effort.
buildings? Just
no
guys sitting outside on the sidewalk?
Just no sound in your science buildings. It's just
It's science. They don't need sound.
part of it. You're like
Science.
Yeah, like you don't hear cells growing in biology. You watch them, right? So you don't need sound to hear meiosis and mitosis. I'm just throwing that out there.
Your microscope
good.
doesn't have a microphone?
Oh,
No. We're definitely still creating network islands, which Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
know.
surprised that wasn't you, Larry.
That's in the old school
This is
thing.
Yeah.
this is something that I did screw up on. Recently put in a direct view LED wall,
Screw up.
and
So you don't
Spend a
have
lot of
money
time.
for
You
speakers,
don't have money for speakers, but you can buy it now.
but direct view LED everywhere.
Wait, what?
Sounds legit. Do it.
one for a capital
How
construction
many children
project.
would that direct view LED feed?
Took away all the
7.5.
A, gave you all the V.
Yes.
So put the designs together and made it look nice, did a semi recess in it, and everyth's all good, and then we get it installed, and then so
There's no power.
the processor needs to slide out from behind the direct view LED wall
Why? What are you doing with that processor?
to replace it if it goes bad, right?
Get one to replace
So
the whole
support-
thing, man. It's a
Throw it away.
one-stop shop. Yeah.
So it's behind the display. It's not over in a rack. It's like the all-in-one, right? Okay, so it was in a recess. So what can't you do? You can't easily slide it out without what? Taking off all the panels.
Yeah.
I was like, should be fine. It'll be 4 or 5 years before that thing dies.
No, it'd be 3
4 days later.
Yeah, exactly.
Not shitting. 4 days later, I get a phone call. Hey, Justin, you know that thing that you said wouldn't happen for a while? So yeah, we were having to go and take the front panels off, but it wasn't that bad. Everybody was mad, but it was like a 1 hour and a
Wasn't
half
that bad that
thing.
everybody was mad? Yeah. Okay.
I'm like, why didn't you think of this, Justin? Like,
What constitutes bad?
Didn't
Then?
think about it.
To be fair, you did think about it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
You just
really.
did the wrong thing.
You chose
Yeah.
the wrong path here.
I was trying to make it look good.
You're
with,
trying to
you know.
appease the architects.
Then, of course, the worst one is we allowed a consultant on campus to do a classroom building, and I'm stuck over here designing a new audio system for a football stadium and an indoor facility for football for athletics is what I'm spending all my time on instead of classrooms.
This is the one you're going to support when it's all done, right?
Yeah.
Actually, no. The integrator sent a support contract to the College of Business.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, because that's extra.
Look forward to that one.
That was a new development on that one.
gonna be
So
so
we'll
good.
see how that plays out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite thing you did bad and wrong this year? Which one did you feel
Favorite?
the worst about?
Probably the direct view LED wall because I had full control over that.
Yeah.
I really kick myself in the ass whenever I screw stuff up like that. It's like shit.
You knew it when you put it in. You're like, this isn't going to work.
Well, no. I mean,
If the answer is, it'll be fine.
yeah.
That's
Should be
usually
all
the
right.
clue.
You know it when you're doing when you're on the site doing the install and you're like, fuck, I really don't want to do this, but we're gonna do it anyway. That's your clue that it's gonna be a pain in your ass at some point in time. That's usually when you're gonna deviate from something you should do to something else.
You know what's weird is all we really had to, well,
You can
Get
talk
a few
yourself into it, but yeah,
2x4s.
it was bad.
we put some blocking up on the wall that was recessed and then build it out more to where it's flush and then it would, but
Makes that noise.
whatever. Yeah.
It's almost like
Just
It'll
put
be
it on
fine.
one of those big extension mounts. Like we have a local integrator who's done some work for us on campus. They use the extension mounts on displays because then you can get behind them. But they use that as a way to get the display farther off the wall to cram more crap behind it. And
I'll tell you what though,
And
as
it-
you're taking those panels off with that vacuum thing, people are
amazing.
looking at you like you're working on a spaceship.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, do you see that shit? And you're like, slapping them
nerve-wracking
on.
the first time. You're like,
Well, we know they didn't hear it because there's no speakers involved.
Yeah.
Oh, there is in that system because they could afford the direct
they have
LED
everything.
wall.
That's like your entire budget's on that one system.
We have
How many projects do you do this year? One.
What? But it's cool.
$2.8 million.
It's a weird aspect ratio.
But
You have to have this really boutique processor to make it work.
We're stuck
You can't get to the
designing
processor though.
full esports program and all these specialty things. But
What's a specialty?
Not
thing? What's that?
I don't, specialty
It's
things
a-
like baseball clubhouse and
Classrooms
meeting
with
rooms
sound.
and nothing to do with classrooms. No classrooms at all in this entire project.
Sounds like the athletics arms race.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But why
Getting
was
your
that
NIL
not
money
the
in line.
consultant-driven project where we would do the classroom said project, right? So
Different pot of money. And remember, we've talked about this before. You don't know what you're talking about because you already work for WKU. We need to get this outside person to come in and tell
Get
us.
experts that-
That's right.
If you knew
Really
what you were talking
know
about, Justin, you wouldn't be working.
network I'm getting choked up. Network islands and everything. Yeah, let's get the experts in here to really tell us how to do sound. So these idiots don't even put sound in the ceiling. Like, what are
You're
they
not doing yourself any
right?
favors here, Justin.
Yeah, you're
The first rule of holes is you find yourself in one, stop digging.
Well,
Dig
the problem
up,
is
stupid.
you don't have control over those things. Like, I can't force people to spend their money. I can
But
suggest
they bought an LED wall, for Christ's sake.
Well,
Larry
some
forced
people-
someone to lose half their conference room and put in a worse display.
Would you ever like pad something in the name of maybe I'm going to just buy a couple speakers to give them to the poor, unsuspecting, unfortunate folk to share some
Oh,
of that
no, no,
prosperity?
no,
Would you
no,
ever
You're
no,
do
the
something
Robin
like
Hood
that?
of AV.
Yeah.
start the socialist.
Yes, come on, you got to do that.
You we've tried
What?
that. You know what it leads to?
Speaker
Leads
firings?
to- So, what about my other 50 classrooms? When are you going to do those for free too?
When the next
Oh,
building gets built.
I was expecting a thank you,
Yep.
not we want
so
more.
Justin, I had that experience too. We had an auditorium on campus. It was
Right.
it was in a nice building,
to
but just
children.
terrible. I went in between me and facilities. We paid for the whole thing. They didn't pay a dime. Never got a thank you, and that group does nothing but complain about it. I'm like, well, I learned my lesson on that one. So
Like,
There's an
you're on
easy
your
solution
own.
for that, Justin. When they say,
me.
when are you going to do this room? You take the speakers out of the room you just did, move them
Just
to that
shift
room.
them through.
Yeah, and just
But we
like,
do
okay,
that.
We're starting with infrastructure.
We
You're
do
going
that
to
when
share these
people-
speakers. We're going to get the cable in place first.
So there's a lot of moving around on our campus.
no, Mark,
where
you
one
drag the
department-
speakers. You just have a student there with a big roll behind you pulling.
Like, for instance, kinesiology moved out of a classroom area, and then the
Makes sense.
ROTC
They're all
people
about
moved in.
movement. Yeah.
And they're like, what happened to this space? It's like, oh, yeah, they didn't have any money, so that's why you still have an NPS 100. It's literally, that meeting was like last week. So finally, ROTC's like, we cannot take this anymore, so we're going to update these classrooms. So they have money, but the last people that got kicked out didn't. So it just depends on who has
the
money at the
military
time.
arts will run their stuff into the ground.
Yeah.
They will.
I'm surprised they have enough to upgrade the classrooms, but at least they're trying to improve some things. So,
Okay.
but other classrooms are magnificent because people have tons of money, so they're willing to spend it.
Okay.
It just depends on what silo you're a part of.
Gotcha. All right.
Well, let me give you a bah humbug for that whole shebang there.
All 5 or
humbug.
6 of my problems. Yeah.
Many
Chris,
problems.
I can only imagine.
You just got one big one.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
What,
what you
me?
got.
I'm the problem.
All right, so I've got, as Justin was talking, I added another
laundry
one on
list,
here. You
sure.
reminded me, so I only have. I'm going to bring up 2.
Okay.
Both about larger scale construction. And I'll get through these really quick. So in one project, it was a building-wide renovation, shut down an entire building, soup to nuts, did the entire AV system, ripped out all the cabling, everything, redid the whole thing. Moved speakers and mics around to where they should be and all that fun stuff. But one thing I didn't do, and this puts me on the naughty list, is every single one of these rooms, because of the sign of the times when the building was built in the early 2000s, like 2003, 4, every room had a giant AV closet that was custom fit for a rack to slide in there. And all the conduit runs through that, and then from there went over to where the lectern is. Now,
Little
in modern...
private IDF.
Yes, pretty much. But with only like 2 network ports, oddly enough. But all the power was there, the data was there, all the conduit was there. And this was back when you were pulling 5-wire, so all the conduit was like 1.5 inches, and there were like 4 of them in there, so you need like less than half of that now, but whatever. But in a modern system, we want all our stuff to be in the lectern, and we're down to like 4 RUA stuff, so we didn't need all that. So I will admit I was wrong on this one. I should have just leaned in and used the closet that was there. I put all the stuff in the lectern, which means we had to run all the cabling and everything over there. And in retrospect, I'm like, damn it, I should have just used that closet that was over there where I could have landed all the gear and then put like the 3 things in the lectern that I really need. So
The 3
So you
encoders that you needed out there.
overcomplicated for no reason.
I didn't overcomplicate. The advantage is the rooms are going to be the same as a room in a place with shitty shitty infrastructure in architecture.
Standardization is overrated.
But in that particular space, you're right. In that particular space, it would have been better to go with like, there's closets there, so I'm going to use them. So as I'm talking with future projects like, say, for our College of Business, same sort of thing, that every room has an AV closet with like nothing in it, but there it is. I will land as much stuff as I can in said closet and then streamline the lectern, even though it now changes my standard, so I'm on tier 7, part B _ C.
You still have to fight
Whatever.
that USB transport thing then.
Yeah,
I-
dude, you
That's
put
the thing that's going to burn you.
I gotta say,
You put
I
all that shit in the
probably-
lectern.
I
So
would
you're
have
extending
abandoned the
the
closet
video
too.
then.
Yeah, because I can extend video. That's easy.
Yeah, but then you're just adding cost.
It just becomes a big J box. Let's be honest. That's just a big J box over there in a closet.
Yeah. I agree with Mark. I actually think you did the right thing.
I think I did the right thing too, but I'm still going to be like, yeah. Part of me, every time I walk past the building, I'm just like, damn it, should have used
We
those,
did the same
closets.
thing. We've done it before. Where it's like,
Well, so early on, the plan was, because they had all these closets that I wasn't going to use. Early on, the plan was like, great, we'll put a door on that, and just it can be a storage closet. I don't care. But of course, when it was designed, the
Like
closets were all they're designed to be slightly bigger than an equipment rack, which is not a standard size for any door on the planet.
No.
And of course, the architects get involved, and the GC and the contractors all come in like, yeah, I put a door in there for $2,500 each, and I'm going to buy 45 door. I'm like, no, I'm not going to. I can leave the rack there fully blanked off right now for free, which is what I've done with them. Which also means I have a place to store my racks.
Did
so
you
it's
use
just one
them
in
as
each
like
room.
little time capsules and put fun treats in there for when you have to
No,
go
but I
back
got
and
a
have
good
everybody do that?
idea from a friend at Indiana University, Gary Cummins. How you doing, Gary? He found and he sent me some of the product names for some of these. There's companies that make basically blinky light panels, which don't do jack and or shit, but just blink. And I'm like, I'm going to go put a bunch of those in those racks because now
I think
they're.
you should just put the door on the front of the rack. And
There's no
just
door on these racks. By the way,
put a door on the front of the
personal
rack.
pet peeve:
put a
equipment
curtain rod in
racks
there.
with
Hang
doors.
up your
Knock it
coats.
off, you goons! Stop buying giant, sides of like World War II tanks to put on the sides of my equipment racks.
I don't mind doors on equipment
Hate them.
racks.
Hate doors.
You
Why?
like people
It
touching your
would solve
stuff.
this problem for you. You just put a door and lock it, and it's gone.
I just put
Throw
all
away
the
the key. Go.
Larry.
The
I've got
CH751 key.
I've got
Or
more
the
blanks.
common
Justin,
key.
you snap those off.
Yes.
751. You hit it with a hammer.
Break it.
Locked.
Gone.
Just blank off the rack and do that. So whatever.
So when you put like a little skeleton in there or something like that. That
Coat
way
closet.
when it opens
Ladders,
up later
ladders
on,
in
yeah.
every closet.
So coat closet was my initial plan, but yeah. So we even thought about bookshelves, all sorts of stuff. So anyway, I'll give myself a bah humbug for that. But I have a second one.
Bah
let's hear it.
humbug.
So the second one is we opened up I guess you call it an expansion, an addition on one of our buildings this summer. It was ongoing. It started before COVID. During COVID it paused and then they continued. This was one before they started construction, it was right. So they kicked everybody out. They started some light demo and then COVID. So they stopped. And then I get there. And so I'm picking it up at that point. I tried to help with this project. This is one that started before I got there. There were consultants and architects involved. They had already hired an integrator. It was, all of this stuff. And this was the one where I had to point out to the dean, you're buying 10-year-old stuff. Do you want 10-year-old stuff? Because they were speccing, I'll just be honest, 3 Series DMPSs, which first shipped in 2015. So you're telling me in 2024, you want to put in a 9-year-old device. You're telling me nothing has changed in that amount of time. And we also have this little thing called COVID and all this
standard,
stuff.
Chris.
So we did get that fixed, but I tried to get involved and try to keep every few months helping with the project to the point where finally both the GC and the architect basically barked at us and said they don't want any involvement from IT, and so we washed our hands of it and let it burn.
Now, Electron.
To be fair, we had the support of both the IT leadership and our capital project facilities team leadership, who was about done with this project anyway because it was such a shit show. So I didn't have any pushback from leadership on it, but I don't like just feeling bad about knowing it is going to be a subpar experience for the students and the faculty and the staff using the space because it's in this weird, just trash kind of sort of done, but I know it's not really done. And here's a giant punch list and my team's going to have to go in and fix all this crap. And I knew it going into this, that was going to happen. And I still have it on my project board as go over and fix these spaces and we'll find time and go over and do that. But I feel bad about it because
ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, well,
You never get about that.
Yeah, ain't gonna happen.
but I feel bad about it because the people who are being, let's say, disenfranchised by it didn't really have anything to do with it, and they were just trying, they just want their new building, sort of thing. So
AV shabby chic.
that's
the thing.
not
That's
great.
the thing.
Wait. Let me give myself a bah humbug here.
Oh, okay.
Bah humbug.
Okay.
I think that's what gets to me the most is the consultants and integrators and all these people and facilities and all these people making decisions. What about the clients that have to live in that space, right? I feel bad for them that get to deal with all the crap. And that's really where the frustration comes from.
Or IT from the standpoint of the people who have to own it for the next 10 years.
Yeah,
And their argument is always like, well, we used your standard. Yeah, you had the standards document, which
No,
says
you
2017 on it. And I'm just pointing this one out. And this was the one that I had to make a consultant look like an asshole about this. I'm like, either A, you're knowingly specifying 10-year-old stuff because you're going to try to slip one past us and you're repurposing stuff from another project, or B, you don't know that stuff is 10 years old and you don't know any better. So which is it? Are you deliberately trying to sneak stuff by us, or are you that out of touch with the industry? Which is it? Because it has to be one of the two.
A lot of the
both maybe.
It's a little bit. It's they're seasoning out of all those things. A lot of those integrators, for whatever reason, will be handed like a bill of materials from some other project. Yep. And then they'll interpret that as, the standard is all of this list of stuff. And it's like, no. The standard's not the stuff.
That's just a bill of materials or a manufacturer
exactly.
list.
So I see that conflated a lot on projects.
That's not a standard. A manufacturer, get it out of your heads. A manufacturer is not a standard.
Mm-hmm. Let it sink in.
By the way, I have a pet peeve of people who say we're a such and such shop. We're an Extron shop.
That's
we're
our standard.
Shop.
That's our standard touch panel.
No, it's not. Because
go back to 1995.
Yeah. Well, I was in a meeting today with faculty, and you know what they don't care about in the space? The brand of the stuff. They want the experience. They want things to work. They just want to teach their classes. So that can be freaking Panja at this point. It would be fine. So as long as it's working.
That's how you end up with 21x9
pajamas,
teams rooms,
pajamas, and 21x9.
Who's pajamas?
That's how it happens.
All righty, so there we go. That's our why we're all on AV Santa's naughty list this year. So there's some examples of things we've done wrong and wish we did differently.
AV
Justin is probably wanted for some of what he's done. And
that was before 18 and 21 years old. Now I'm a good boy now.
Paid your price.
I'm doing all right.
There's no record of that. That's been expunged. So,
exactly.
Yeah. Do you want to point out that for those of you listening in the first week of December here, please join us on December. Let me get the date right here. What is the date?
Yes.
On Friday, December 20th.
That's it.
That's the one.
Friday, December 20th at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, or thereabouts.
Or whenever I show up.
For our live Christmas holiday special. Do we want to tell them what we're doing this year, or are we leaving that vague for now?
It's going to be a story.
Live Christmas special.
Live Christmas special. Yes. Well, we're going to have to promote it on social media, so you'll start seeing posts about it. So look for that. It will be unique, and I think it should be fun. So let's say it that way.
It'll be on brand.
It will be on brand. But also,
very little nudity.
Not as much as
some nudity.
Very little.
I didn't sign up for that.
PG-13-ish. Yeah.
All right. So join us on December 20th for that. And otherwise, please reach out and let us know what you're doing, why you're on the naughty list, and what you've done this year that's put you on the naughty list, and we'll keep that in our back pockets when we need to blackmail you in the future.
Exactly. We'll drag you on here and call you out.
Well, I guess we could. I mean, I wasn't planning on that. Let me. Where's the other one? I need to get this
family.
This one here.
Turn that one down. Push this.
Whoops! I got it. Yep, I got too much stuff going. This one needs to shut up.
We're out of here.
Thanks for putting up with yet another episode of AV SuperFriends On Topic. You can contact us with questions, topic ideas, or general complaints at avsuperfriends.com.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV SuperFriends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients.